Hey, you guys, how are you guys doing this evening? Actually, it's Friday night and it's really a nice, relaxing night. And it's a little late, but I'm coming to you with my audio tonight, and it is about the Maleah Davis story. The Maleah Davis story. Derion Vence was in court today, you guys, and guess what? Some witnesses said that Derion Vance and Craig Davis got into some type of discussion or eye contact or something that actually triggered Craig Davis off to the max. All of a sudden, an attorney said that Craig Davis must have flew across the room and he was beating Darian Vance with punches unlike no other. He said he beat the crap out of him. And Derion Vence was in handcuffs, when he was getting beat. So he really got some licks in on him. He got his frustration out. Because can you imagine this man not ever having his child again? And someone was saying that Derion Vence used a blunt force on that child, which means he used an object, allegedly, to kill that child. So I can imagine, Darian Vence in jail living, and the little baby is gone forever. Her father and her mother would never see her again. However, people still feel that their mother has something to do with it because of the fact that she did not protect the baby and she was with a killer and a murderer, and how he had been possibly molesting that child. And she was saying it on TV with Quanell X. So nobody knows what's going on with this case. However, Darian Vence possibly will be getting life in prison, if not death in prison, because he actually tortured that baby. And her father, Maleah Davis' father, was able to get off some of his frustration. He'll never get over the fact that his baby is gone. And you know what? On the news, this attorney was like, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Everybody let him go. They let him go because he said Darian Vence got just what he deserved. And Darian Vence, he knew better than to file charges on that baby's father because he knew what he had done. And so therefore he allowed to get his butt beat because he know he was wrong for killing that man's child. So Craig Davis was able to go home, and he didn't do any comments. He didn't want to talk to anybody. You could see that he was still very angry and upset. Um, but they said he just flew out of nowhere. I was wondering, how did they let him get up on that Darian Vence like that? The attorney said he flew across those tables. Oh my God, he must have dived. He must have grew wings to get to Darian Vence. I'm not lying. They said he tore his ass up in court. And where was Brittany Boynes? I didn't see it today, and no one said anything about her, so I'm not sure if she was there or not. But I would have been there. I would have been there just to see what they was gonna do with this nut that killed my baby. I would have been there. That father came out of nowhere and kicked his butt. I don't feel sorry for him, especially when they said that how he did that baby. Oh my God. And how she knew that he was bathing her without her approval and all of this stuff she said with Quanell X on TV. Quanell X actually said it, but she allowed him to say it, which means she had told him that. Wow. So, you guys, I don't know if you saw it, but you can Google it up, ABC News Houston, and it's going to tell you all about what happened today with Darian Vence and the story about baby Maleah Davis. So I just wanted to bring that to you because it was brought to my attention. I had no idea that he was in court today because I had not been keeping up with this case. It was two cases I was actually really trying to keep up with, and that was that A.J. Armstrong story about the Armstrong Sr. and Dawn Armstrong, two beautiful citizens of Harris County that was murdered in their own home with their own weapon. And it wasn't with anyone else's weapon, it was with their own weapon in their own home. So, my thing is on that particular story, many people, you know how you talk to people, and I'm around people, and someone was saying today, how could somebody kill somebody else with their own gun unless they knew where it was? And nobody's going to go in your bedroom because the young man said that his father's gun was in his nightstand on the side of the bed. So everyone was saying, do you really think that someone's going to come in the house and the alarm was on? And even if the alarm was off, come in the house, try to find out how would they know where the gun was? They wouldn't know that. They didn't live there. How would they know where the gun was? And in fact, if the parents was in the bed, who's going to walk in somebody's bedroom fumbling around looking for a gun that belonged to that house, that father? No murderer will walk into no one's house peddling around trying to find a gun. Matter of fact, they are going to come into the house with their own gun, and they're going to leave with their own gun. And when they leave, the alarm will be off, not on. So it was a puzzling thing. And then someone else said, well, he said he heard gunshots, and then he ran into the, no, he saw a mask. He came out and saw a masked man, and they were like, he saw a masked man, uh, and the masked man didn't kill him. And then someone else said, well, yeah, well, he said it was his brother at first. They said it was his brother. And they was like, well, did his brother see any jeans or any clothes he had on or anything about him, his demeanor, his movements? You know, it was like everybody is saying that that young man did it because of the fact that it was inside. It wasn't a weapon that was brought into the house. It was AJ Senior's weapon. So how would a killer get a hold of his weapon and didn't live there? So it was just, it's just almost like a no-brainer. And they were saying, well, how could he hear with the pillows? Because normally pillows have silent sounds. And they said, well, how come the sister didn't hear it? If she was on the same floor with them and he was above them, how could he hear it? And I said, well, maybe he heard it because of the fact that he was above and the sister was on the same floor. And they go, no, 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 no. No, that sister should have heard something also. So actually, it was two people. And then you have people that were saying, like even A.J. Armstrong Jr., he said, people are going to say what they want to say. So this is just what people are saying. That's what I'm talking to you about now. People were saying, well, A.J. Armstrong Jr., he said that masked man, he saw him. Well, don't you think the masked man would have killed him just like he killed his parents? And that normally when people break in your house, they kill everybody that see them. I mean, it was just so many different questions that they were saying that made a lot of sense. And then about the alarm, they said, well, maybe he forgot to turn the alarm off because when you're young, your mind can't think fast because after the murder was done, the alarm was still on, and maybe he was too distraught to turn the alarm off because it was still on when he let the police in. And that was why the police arrested him, because they said this is an inside job because the alarm was on. So it's just like, wow. And then they were saying, they just stayed on that about that gun. Who gave, oh yeah, this is what they said. They said, well, if A.J. Armstrong Jr. even gave somebody his father's gun to kill them, then he would have left the alarm off so that the people could get out of the house. And the gun would have went out with the person. So you see what I'm saying? That's what people were saying. They was like, so either way it goes, they said it appears that the fingers are pointing to him. So either way it goes, everybody was saying there was nobody else's gun. And nobody else is going to be looking in a house trying to come to kill somebody. They're going to come in with their own weapon and they're going to leave with their weapon so that no evidence will be left behind. And they were saying, well, why all the residue was wiped off of the gun? And they said if it was a killer and the killer had time to go down and leave the gun in the kitchen without somebody waking up or, the little girl waking up or whatever. And the motion detector showed someone coming from upstairs going down into the kitchen. So people was having all kinds of different things that led to him, like the cops are accusing him. Everybody was saying it's just no way around it. No one is going to come in your house and search around when they don't know where your gun is, or even walk in your room peddling, because you're going to wake up and beat the smack out of them. No one is going to know where your gun is in your house. If they're coming to kill, they're coming in with their own weapon and they're shooting up everybody in the house and they're walking out with their weapon. And that didn't happen. So who, if there was another killer, who gave the killer the father's gun, because they wouldn't have known where it was? Or even if they did know, say for instance, if somebody said, oh, the gun is on the side of the bed and the nightstand, they wasn't going to go in there because those people probably would have woke up. One of them, out of two people, somebody would have caught them fumbling around in the room before they would have been able to reach that gun. So then they were saying, well, I wonder if he took the gun or kept the gun when he was practicing with it in his room, or if he went and got the gun when perhaps they were having dinner or something and he sneaked and got it and then used it on them later. And I was like, I don't know. But then they were like, well, what about when he used the gun to practice in the pillows when he lied to the cops and said he hadn't seen the gun and they happened to see the hole in his room? They were saying, what about uh, the bullets? Maybe it was only those 3 bullets left because of the fact that AJ shot his mother twice and the father once. And they go, well, maybe he ran out of bullets from practicing with the pillows in his room, just like he allegedly killed them with the pillows over their heads. People are really, really, really talking. And it's just a sad situation for the family, the people that are hopefully in heaven looking down on the situation, the parents. And it's a sad situation because no one have a reward out looking for them. I mean, if I was AJ and his sister, I would be taking up rewards trying to help find my parents' killers, because nobody is showing that, and that's what tends to make people believe that it's leading the fingers are pointed at AJ Jr. because nobody's giving a damn about his parents. And even they feel that when he did the news show, that he should have addressed his parents. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing. And I'm not accusing AJ Armstrong Jr. of anything, but all the fingers are pointed towards him because of the fact that that was an inside gun and it was inside of the house. Everything was in. The alarm was on. The gun was inside. The note was inside. A killer wouldn't have came in. Why would a killer kill somebody with their own gun and they got to look for it when they don't know if that person could kill them before they, you know? So any killer, a robber is going, like you see every day, these people have their own weapons. They're not trying to go piddle around in nobody's house to find a weapon. They can't go in those people's room to find a weapon. It's a weapon. Somebody had to have already had the weapon in the house, or they got it before the parents went to bed. Now, if it was someone else, then AJ would still be liable in the court of I if he gave the gun to someone. So nobody knows how this trial is going to end, but somebody's out there. Somebody has to pay. Someone has to pay for the murder of his parents. And they're sitting up in heaven and they're looking down. Do you think those 2 people are not going to come down here with their spirits and redeem themselves. You know, because spirits are very strong. People just don't realize that that stuff is strong. And if you have God and AJ and his grandparents and everybody, if they're into God, they know about the spirits and the spirit of the Lord. Whoever did it will pay. It's no escaping the goat. It's not going to happen because God sits high and he looks low on whoever did it. But what got me? What really, really messed me up, I'm going to tell you, really, it really messed me up. Mentally, this really, really messed me up when somebody said, you don't think him and his little sister did it, or she did it, and they did it for the money. That blew me away because the little sister was asleep. AJ had to wake her up, he said. But they was like, how do you know he woke her up? You don't know anything. You wasn't there. You see what I'm saying? So people was like, you don't know if they did that together. You don't know if he did it by himself. You don't know if he gave somebody the gun. But it was definitely that gun. It was an inside job because it was an inside gun. You see? If it wasn't a gun inside of the house, you guys, then people could say easily somebody came in because they came with their own weapon. So that's the key right there. So, you know, everybody just waiting on pins and needles to see who's going to pay for the murder of A.J. Armstrong. Or indeed, in fact, if he is innocent, then somebody is going to put up a reward and go find who did it. It's either somebody finds who did it or the DA think they already have their suspect. And it's just out there. It's not anybody accusing nobody. But AJ himself should be happy if somebody's trying to find who killed his parents. I mean, that's no more than what's right. Period. It's no more than what's right for him and anybody else that's attached to that situation to try to find the killers of those beautiful people. And that's just no more than what's right. And back to Maleah Davis' story. Derion Vence got his butt beat today in court. He has to pay for killing that baby. OJ paid for allegedly killing Nicole and Ron Goldman because he didn't pay in court. And actually, when he got off, OJ kind of dropped his head like, wow, I'm really off. You remember that? It's that look. They keep playing it over and over and over and over and over. He dropped his head like, ooh, I got off. And then, 9 or 10 years later, the little stuff they got him on, it was too small to even talk about, but they was trying to get him back for the allegedly of killing Nicole and Ron Goldman. So that's just the way life is, and it's nothing no one can do about it. Because if I do wrong, I have to pay, and everybody else, nobody's going to escape the goat. With that, you guys, I'm going to end my show, but please click like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be coming back with more of Celebrity and Variety Talk. I thank you so much for tuning in, and have a good evening. Talk to you later. Bye.